with confidence with Dexcom G7, the most accurate CGM. Learn more at Dexcom.com.
Nail fungus is nasty. OptiNail starts improving the appearance of fungus-damaged toenails in just 2 days. Its clinically proven formula penetrates the nail for results you can see quickly. OptiNail. Give fungus-damaged toenails a makeover.
Our right to reproductive health care is being stolen from us.
I can't believe this is the world we live in, where we're losing the freedom to control our own bodies.
We need your support now more than ever. Go
Infection or symptoms had a vaccine or plan to. Liver problems may occur in Crohn's disease.
Control of Crohn's means everything to me. Ask your gastroenterologist about Skyrizi. Learn how AbbVie could help you save.
We're effectively run in this country via the Democrats, via our corporate oligarchs, by a bunch of childless cat ladies who are miserable at their own lives and the choices that they've made, and so they want to make the rest of the country miserable too.
Yeah, I mean, if you have friends who've chosen not to have kids, you know how totally miserable they are. I got too much disposable income. My life is so hard. I can fly business class. I still have a sex life. Please kill me.
J.D. Vance's childless cat lady comment continues to be a major storyline in the presidential race. And his cleanup attempts, well, they don't seem to be working, as there are now more examples of him using similar phrasing over the past few years. Meanwhile, Vice President Kamala Harris is building real momentum with her campaign, holding a raucous rally last night in front of a huge and lively crowd in Atlanta. It comes as the Veep stakes is heating up, with the campaign saying the vice president will appear with her new running mate next week. We'll be joined by one of the men on the short list for that job, Senator Mark Kelly of Arizona. He will be our guest this morning. Also ahead, we'll bring you the latest out of the Middle East following a strike that killed a key leader of Hamas. Good morning and welcome to Morning Joe. It is Wednesday, July 31st. I'm Jonathan Lemire, along with the BBC's Caddy K, in for Joe, Mika, and Willie. And with us, we're happy to say that we have NBC News and MSNBC political analyst, former U.S. Senator Claire McCaskill. She and our friend Jen Palmieri are the co-hosts of the MSNBC podcast, How to Win 2024. Also with us, managing editor at The Bulwark, Sam Stein, and editor at large for the nonprofit newsroom, The 19th, Aaron Haynes. Caddy, good to see you this morning. Yeah, I mean, we have himself nationally. This is not a good first impression.
Yeah, people with kids don't like it. People, of course, without kids don't like it. And then there's this weird policy proposal that people who have kids should get more votes in the United States. I don't know about you, John, but when I had kids and they were small, I think I should have had my votes taken away from me. My brain was so addled with lack of sleep. So I think I was the last person that should have had extra votes when my kids were tiny. I mean, yeah, it's weird, and it's In Nevada, Harris has erased a 3-point lead for Trump and turned that into a 2-point lead of her own. She also trails by just 2 points in North Carolina. She's also cut Trump's lead from 7 points to 4 points in Pennsylvania. And in Wisconsin, the poll shows Harris leading by 2 points after Biden led there by 3 points previously. We should note that with the exception of Michigan, every state's result is within the margin of error. Harris's lead in Michigan also varies from other polls, by the way, that have been taken since Biden exited the race, but they are kind of extraordinary numbers and show a big swift pretty fast. Those numbers come as Vice President Harris herself held a rally last night in Atlanta, drawing a very energetic crowd of some 10,000 people. She laid out the contrast between her and Donald Trump, once again presenting this election as a choice between a prosecutor and a felon. Harris also attacked the former president on border security and called him out for flip-flopping on the next presidential debate.
Our administration worked on the most significant border security bill in decades. Some of the most conservative Republicans in Washington, D.C. supported the bill. Even the Border Patrol endorsed it. It was all set to pass. But at the last minute, Trump directed his allies in the Senate to vote it down. Right. He tanked the bipartisan deal because he thought it would help him win an election. Which goes to show Donald Trump does not care about border security. He only cares about himself. So here is my pledge to you. As president, I will bring back the border security bill that Donald Trump killed, and I will sign it into law and show Donald Trump what real leadership looks like. So last week, you may have seen, he pulled out of the debate in September he had previously agreed to. Here's the funny thing about that. So he won't debate. But he and his running mate sure seem to have a lot to say about me. And by the way, don't you find some of their stuff to just be plain weird? Well, Donald, you'll reconsider to meet me on the debate stage. Because as the saying goes, if you've got something to say,
So, Claire McCaskill, a lot to get through here from what we saw from the vice president last night. First, it was striking. The border immigration is perceived as perhaps one of her biggest weaknesses. She went right there, right at the top of that rally. She addressed it head on, tried to flip it on Trump for his efforts to kill that bipartisan bill. And as we'll show you a little later in the show, she's got an ad on this as well. They're dueling ads. Trump has one attacking her. She's got one defending herself on this issue. The signature moment from that is going to be the "say it to my face" about the debate, sort of goading Trump to meet her in September. But I'm also just struck by the feel of last night. That crowd was huge. It was raucous. The vice president is clearly having fun on the stage. An unthinkable scene for Democrats 2 weeks ago.
Yeah, it is a remarkable thing that we are witnessing. This is a woman who's been underestimated by the chattering class, by people who don't know her well, people who assumed she wasn't ready to take on this kind of campaign in this way. And I think if we watch that speech last night, what struck me so much, I don't think people realize how hard it is when you're constantly interrupted with a lot of emotional outbursts of a crowd, and how you pause and allow that emotion to build, and how you build off of that emotion for a crescendo. Really, that was a very well done set of remarks last night. And people really don't realize how difficult that is to do it with confidence, with a smile on her face. That's the biggest contrast in this campaign now, Jonathan, is that the Democrats are having fun, and it's about joy and opportunity and freedom. And the other side is about, you know, cat ladies and electrocuting boats and the stuff that most Americans are just going, well, that doesn't really move me.
Yeah, and the weird is the word the Democrats have fixated on the last 10 days, but it's really dark. It's a dark image. It's a dark image of America that Donald Trump and J.D. Vance are putting forward. And it was a real contrast from last night. And Aaron Haynes, you were there. You covered that rally last night in Atlanta. Tell us a little bit more about what it felt like there, how the crowd responded to her, as the general election is in such a different place, and Vice President Harris's rollout here continues to be really impressive.
Yeah, I mean, Jonathan, what you saw on the screen was exactly what it felt like. Certainly still a hero in Georgia. She made her first appearance for the vice president, who is now the presumptive Democratic nominee, on stage. You had Senators John Ossoff and Raphael Warnock make a rare joint appearance on stage together, at this rally. They don't often do that. Harkening back to that historic 2020, frankly. So, I don't know if they can keep the same energy up for the next 98 days. That's something like 14 weeks from now. But if they can, Georgia certainly seems to be definitely back in play for Democrats.
Yeah, the energy there last night, I mean, crazy. The money there also pouring in as well. Sam, I don't know if if you need a little bit more money, but I see that Amazon is not yet selling Say It to My Face t-shirts, so there's a business opportunity for you. I'm sure they pay you a lot of money to do way too early every morning. You do it brilliantly, but if you need a little bit more Say It to My Face t-shirts have to be sold, I reckon. Look, these polls, more seriously, what do you make of this Bloomberg poll, this kind of enormous shift that we've seen? I haven't seen a shift like this during this campaign, this rapid and this distinctive, particularly that Michigan number. What are you making of that Bloomberg poll? Is this an outlier, or is this a reflection of where things are headed for Democrats?
Do you want me to start with the serious stuff, or can I play off of the Amazon T-shirt business idea?
Go on.
Okay, because I hadn't thought about the T-shirt business idea, but I look into it. Yeah, not necessarily my forte. Also, Claire made a very valid point about constantly being interrupted. I know it. I've worked with Jonathan Lemire. It is a problem. It's hard to speak when that happens. As for the polls, look, I don't put my stock in any one set of polls individually. I think there's some numbers there that, frankly, are head-scratching. Plus 11 in Michigan. I mean, come on. That's not going to be the case. Also, -4 in Pennsylvania, I don't think that's going to be the case either. But if you look at trends, I think that's where you have to put your money, right? And the trends all point to the same thing, which is that Harris has gained